Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2024 and welcome back to the Neofly series. This is of course episode 58, and as you can see, if you watched the previous episode, we sort of broke our Airvan here on this disused runway which I landed on by mistake. The real runway is just a couple of miles up that way, but we have now had our Airvan repaired. We towed it back to this part, and I'm going to try and continue the mission from here. It is kind of late afternoon now because it took a while to get the parts out here and get everything fixed. There's some... Is that a buffalo out there? I think so. I think if we try and take off this way... I mean, there's a whole bunch of rocks and stuff here. But this part was a lot worse, so I think if we take off that way we might be able to salvage this. So that's the plan, and then we're going to head back to the actual airport. We don't have any passengers left anymore because we sent them along with the replacement aircraft and the vehicle, so we're going to be empty up to the airport here, and then we'll see if there's anyone who needs to head back to Maun. And then we will make our way back to Maun from there. So let's jump aboard. Okay, let's have a look. So the fuel that we're supposed to have on board is 176 pounds. So we have 230. So how do I... Oh, you can actually drag this. Yeah, 176, that works. We've got a little bit more on the left-hand side, but that's okay. Right, and then we should have just us on board. That's correct. Right, then we can get powered up. So let's do masters on. Was that already on? Interesting. Avionics. Nav and beacon lights. And that's okay for now. Okay, so that's the actual airport over there.
System test okay.
It's really close. — 0.2 miles, okay. Right, let's get her powered up. Okay, very nice. We'll do landing light and taxi light. Let's see if we can get turned around here. Oh, I think my parking brake was off and I just re-engaged it. Yes. Going to be an interesting takeoff. Keep an eye on those buffalo out there. Are they buffalo or are they wildebeest? I think they're buffalo. I do tend to see more buffalo in this game anyway, so... Okay, so I'm going full flaps. want to get as much pressure off the wheels as possible as soon as possible. See if we can do this without popping a tire again. That is rough. Okay, that was horrible, but we are up. Start retracting the flaps so we can build up a bit of speed. In fact, this other airport is so close, we probably don't even need to go flaps completely up. Just need to find this other runway now. Okay, there it is there. So, I think the coordinates that I found online took me to the old airstrip. That's why. See, because it's taking us back there, that waypoint on the GPS. Here's the real one. That looks much better. Actual runway, there's like a tower there and stuff.
Too low terrain.
There's a windsock.
Too low terrain. Too low
Crosswind from
terrain.
the right.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
And we're
Too
gonna
low
land
terrain.
from behind us.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Okay, so that makes sense. The coordinates that I had did in fact take us to that older runway. I should have still realized, but yeah. As you can see, we are starting to lose sunlight. Right, so we'll hop into this airport or airstrip and then have a look and see what jobs are available from here, because we could probably make a stop along the way and still have enough light to get back into Mount. If we do end up going back into Mount in the dark, it's not the end of the world. There's zebra, no, buffalo down there. Buffalo. was a rough landing. So this is where we were meant to be earlier this morning. LNA lights and taxi lights and strobes.
I know it's going to be a good day when my favorite pilot is working.
Okay, let's have a look. So this is why I don't normally show the Neofly app, because it's incredibly slow. Okay, so let's see what we have. We obviously want to be heading back towards Malm. There doesn't seem to be anything here that's going there. Delta Camp, we could take that. There's some cargo going here to Santawani. I think we're going to take Delta Camp. That's a new one. 7 passengers to Delta Camp. Let's load that up.
Good morning, my favorite transporter. Passengers will board as soon as you request it. Captain, we have opened the gates for boarding. The passengers are on their way.
Okay, cool. 3,100 feet, longest runway, just under 2,000 feet. Just under $6,000 for our 28-mile flight with 7 passengers. So let's go and enter that in. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's their baggage, I guess.
Transporter, boarding is complete. You can start your flight.
Right, then the next thing I'm going to need to do is get coordinates for Delta Camp. Okay, south 19.5337, east 230938. Okay, there it is. Let's get her fired up. And we'll make our way out to Delta Camp.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Okay, landing lights, strobe lights, and taxi lights on. Okay, let's go. Guess it wants us to just keep the pitot heat on. Okay, flaps 1 for takeoff. Bring the mixture pitter back back a bit while we're on the ground. So 28 miles from here to Delta Camp. That lines up exactly with what Neofly said, so that's cool. And then we'll stop off at Delta Camp, make our way back to Maun after that. So in fact, maybe we should just put that in so long. Cool. Just looking out, those buffalo are heading this way through the trees here. It's open marshland, swampland out there. Let's go. Okay, airspeed's alive. Nose up like that, doesn't want to take off. Mind you, I suppose we do have 7 people on board. Yeah, let's just get it over the trees here.
Pilot, have a nice flight.
Okay, flaps coming up. Trimmed out to do that short field takeoff, so I wanted to get the nose up as soon as possible on the previous takeoff from the rough strip, so I still had it set like that. And we actually could have used a lot less runway than we did, but it's not the end of the world. There's that strip we landed at earlier and blew a tire. just under 40 minutes to go Delta Camp, then back to Mount. So we're probably looking at about 45 minutes total, because that's just assuming we fly straight over Delta Camp. We don't land and pick up passengers and all that. Bring the prop back a bit. Yeah, autopilot on. Let's level us off there. 3,900. And we can actually go nav, and it should follow our GPS route. I'm still getting stutters around this scenery. I know at some point the Okavango scenery had some massive performance issues. It was just a complete slideshow. And in fact, I tried to fly here previously as part of the Neofly series and ended up heading to Tanzania because the whole thing was just running at like 5 FPS. So they did say they fixed that, but I'm still getting stutters here and then, although that could just be flight sim as well. It does that sometimes, so never really know. Miles to Delta Camp. There's another aircraft just pumped up over there. A2OKC. Let's see if I can look up the real world tail number. So A2 is obviously Botswana registered, so that makes sense. OKC is probably like a 208 Caravan or something like that. Another Airvan, maybe 206. A2 OKC, Cessna Grand Caravan EX. Mac Air, that makes perfect sense. They're based out of Mount. I get this to go up now? There we go. So they might be heading back into Mount. We'd see a few more animals than we have. We've seen buffalo, we've seen wildebeest, elephants. Oh, there's some giraffe just down there as I say that. That's the little one. Certainly should see some hippo in this area. Elephants for sure, there's thousands of them here. Probably didn't need to go all the way to 4.5. Okay, that other aircraft has disappeared. Maybe they weren't going into Mount. There's a whole bunch of these little airstrips around. So they could have been going into one of those. And we might catch them later again on the way back to Mount. Okay, 11 miles out now, leveling off at 4,500. Too high now for sightseeing. I mean, we might pick up some animals, but really only if they're in this area. It's a bit far up there. Oh, some weather up ahead again. Look at that rain. Aha, here we go again. Starting to run quite low on fuel, so that is something to be paying attention to. Which is not cool of a situation to be in when you're faced with weather up ahead. 7 miles. Hopefully we can get in before that rain and then get out quickly and make our way back to Mount.
Looks like one of your passengers is wanted by the police. You must land at this new destination where they're waiting for him.
Oh my word, okay. What's the new destination? FBMD, is that here? Nsui Airport. It's FBMD. Oh, I put this in wrong. It's actually DT. Okay, let's see. I can't find any info on this. Okay, so we're gonna fly to Delta Camp and then follow the river and try and pick up Nsui. That's the best way I can do this, and we've got weather to deal with. Following the river is going to be very easy. Should be, there it is there. I think we're going to want to land from the other side. Well, there's trees at both ends, which is kind of annoying.
$500.
So this end is doable. We're going to chew up quite a bit of the runway, staying over those trees. Again, straight crosswind from the left. It's favoring the runway in front of us, so we'll come from this side. Probably capture this in our GPS while we're there as well. I think there was some animals underneath us now, but I can't look at this point. Just got to be very careful of those trees at the end there. At this end of the runway, that is. So we're going to have to come quite low over the trees and then nosedive down a little bit onto the runway. It's okay, we've done it before in other places. Okay, it's not too bad here. We've actually had much worse. again, that big right-hand pull this time. That could be the wind though. They did say rush to the parking. Now, are they going to want us to drop off the rest of the passengers at Delta Camp and then continue to mount? So we had 7 on board. We're handing 1 over to the police. For whatever reason. Interesting looking police. I'm just kidding, I know that that's part of the scenery. Okay.
Okay, pilot. The guests are leaving the aircraft now.
Okay, so what was this waypoint? FBMD. Then I wonder, can I edit this one? Because it's not DC, it's
Disembarking
DT.
finished. Have a nice day.
Transporter. They caught him. You're going to get his bounty. Good work.
Oh, cool. Get a bit of extra
You are
cash.
clear to start your engine.
Ah, okay, we need to take that out. Okay, so now we can do... where's the arrow? Ready? Okay, FBDT. Why do I feel like that's gone wrong? BGC. Edit. Aha, okay, that's better. GT, enter, save that. Nice. Okay, let's see if we have anything from here to take with us to Maun. Doesn't look like it. Okay, it's a little bit out of the way, so I think we're going to be heading to Maun empty-handed today. Okay, not the end of the world. Let's take this out. And then we just do FBMD. We insert before. Like so. That should work. Let's go and check our payload. So fuel is going to stay the same. but we're gonna have no passengers. Okay, we're a little bit forward of CG, so let's just say we had some bags with us and that will help. Okay, that's all good. Let's get that forward. Get that forward.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Okay, it looks like the storms are building up again as well. Gonna be taking off towards the storms at this rate. See the rain out that way. S238, we're about 500 feet above the ground. Do a bit of sightseeing as well. We're losing the light quickly, so that's why I don't want to take another job. We're just going to head straight back to Maun. Nice tight turning circle, this aircraft. Which makes sense because it's made for doing stuff exactly like this. Right, here we go. Airspeed's alive. There's the apron where we just came from. Coming up. Okay, the storms and the rain are still a way out. I'm looking at about 22 minutes to Maun, but that's going to come down significantly as we pick up speed. To our autopilot here. Right, I don't know, autopilot's given up. Flashed up for a second there. Yeah, I don't know. Not the end of the world, we'll hand fly it a little bit higher now than I want it to be, but it's okay. It's 11 minutes out. So this is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. That's alright, we're kind of finishing off the day from the previous episode. And finally making it back to Mound, which we should have been back a couple of hours ago. There's rain out that way. But hey, so just under an hour this episode's going to be roughly. But at least we have our Airvan back in one piece. Well, autopilot doesn't work for some reason, but could be a lot worse. That's a helipad. There must be a camp here. Oh yeah, check out all the animals down there. Random helipad over there. It's also part of the Okavango scenery. I don't know if that's maybe like Chief's Island or one of those that has a helipad. Some elephants. The golden light of the sunset. 7.5 minutes out. Okay, 5 minutes out. We're starting to lose light, but it's also because the clouds are going, the sun is going behind those clouds. So there's still quite a bit of daytime left, but we are starting to lose the light quickly. Out. Now, obviously, in reality, we would be in contact with the tower at Mount to get cleared to land, but we don't have that, so I'm gonna go for the runway. So we're gonna head out to our right and land towards the left. Be landing to the east, so heading basically south now, and In fact, almost bang on south. Looks like a just wall of weather out that way. Right, there is the runway there. Some aircraft parts on the ground. Prop coming full, mixtures full. Okay, let's get some flaps that'll help us slow down as well. Provide quite a lot of drag in this aircraft.
$500.
We want to try and slow before that first taxiway. As you can see, that little aircraft there, that's where we're parking. So we don't want to have to taxi all the way back. Okay, so we're going to touch down a little early here. Okay, flaps are coming up.
Contact ground for your parking assignment, then shut down your engine.
Nice and bouncy on the runway. Geez, we had it less bouncy on some of the unpaved runways. Bunch of Embraers out there, interestingly enough. Does Air Botswana have Embraer? What are those? 135s, 145s. Okay, landing lights, strobe lights. Yeah, that could be that Mac Air Caravan. We're parked next to that. Right, welcome back to Mount. cool is there's loads of airports out in this, or I keep saying airports, there's loads of airstrips out in this area that we can explore. I want to see if that caravan actually has a Mac Air livery, because that would be pretty impressive. It's not exactly a very common livery for flight sim, I would say. I think it's just got a default livery. I mean, here in Botswana, Mac Air caravans are pretty common, but I wouldn't say the same in flight sim. Yeah, it just looks like the default blue stripes. Okay, taxi light off. Brake set.
Ready for engine start.
Okay, we won't be starting the engine right now because we are done for today. Lights off, avionics off, masters off. Yeah, all good. Okay, let's get that locked up. And there we are in the nice golden late afternoon light. Safely back at Mount. So a really dodgy landing this morning in the previous episode. A very dodgy takeoff this afternoon from the same unused airstrip. But safely back at Mount, and our Airvan lives on to carry on doing charters into the Delta. But that's going to bring us to the end of this video and the end of this episode. As always, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to follow along with the Neofly series, if you did enjoy the video, you know what to do down below, and hopefully I see you in the next one.